Thanks everyone for being here today. Today, we're going to be exploring essential strategies for building lasting relationships with customers. And, I would love for this to be interactive. So feel free to use the chat to ask any questions, or we can wait till the end, and I'm happy to answer the questions then. So businesses thrive not only through sales, but also through strong long-term connections. And today I'm going to share proven tactics to improve retention and turn customers into advocates for your brand. So by the end of this session today, you will have actionable ideas to implement immediately in your business and for your pitch. So before we get started, I'll go a little deeper after Naquire gave such a great introduction about who I am. But you should know that entrepreneurship is truly in my DNA. My father had several different types of businesses, so I grew up studying businesses my whole life, from hotels, restaurants, retail stores. And then I decided to go onto Wall Street and learn about how money moves in this country, where I decided to get a master's degree in behavioral psychology because I recognized on Wall Street that it's really the customer speculation, customer behavior that is the secret magic when it comes to running businesses and making them viable and marketable. I later left Wall Street in 2018 and I started to buy failed businesses, build them up, and sell them. And today I have found my agency where I'm basically a growth strategist for businesses, but I'm also known now for golfing. And that's why you see that picture in the middle. I have a community of female high achieving golfers, and it's called Powerhouse Golf Society. And thankfully, #1 book on Amazon. So let's go straight into why relationships matter. They matter because, strong customer relationships truly directly impact your revenue. Loyal customers buy more frequently and in larger quantities, which is, the key driver of profitability. So when acquiring new customers, it tends to be 5 times more expensive than retaining existing ones. And that's why many companies move their marketing strategies into building deeper relationships with their clients. The focusing on retention actually lowers marketing costs. So in saturated markets, relationships become your differentiator. Competitors can copy your products, but they cannot replicate personal connections. It's like Beyonce says, I can give you the recipe, but it's just not going to taste the same. So same with your customer retention strategies. Additionally, a loyal customer base provides revenue stability, which ensures long-term success. So let's talk about the customer retention formula, right? Which is cost comparison, resource allocation, and profit impact. As I mentioned before, acquiring customers is costly, but retention offers a higher return on investment. Studies show that increasing retention by just 5% can boost profits by 25%, almost all the way up to 95%. Businesses that prioritize customer service and experience over aggressive acquisition campaigns see greater long-term profitability. So let's use Amazon Prime as a great example of this. Its subscription model encourages ongoing engagement, always increasing that customer lifetime value. So customer lifetime value, you're probably thinking, what is that? What's that concept? Well, it represents the total revenue a customer generates for your business over time. Companies with high LTV customers, such as subscription-based services, thrive by keeping users engaged. Using Amazon Prime as an example again, members spend 4 times on Amazon Prime more than non-members due to the exclusive benefits that you get, right? 2-day shipping, access to Amazon Video, Amazon Music, and all the other things. So your strategy should focus on calculating your customer's LTV, lifetime value, and identifying ways to increase their purchase frequency and spending amount. Knowing your audience helps with building stronger relationships. Understanding your customers really starts with data collection. Businesses that analyze demographics, behaviors, and preferences can create more relevant experiences. Netflix is a leader in doing this. Using data-driven insights, they recommend content to the users, directly to the users, keeping users engaged and reducing churn. Knowing your audience means offering them what they want before they even ask for it. And every time Netflix decides to increase their price, it never really affects churning. Their customers stay on because they feel seen and they feel like Netflix knows what they want to see. Emotional versus rational buying decisions. Understanding that customers make purchasing decisions based on emotion first and then justify the actual purchase rationally is key in establishing strong relationships with your clients. Apple has mastered this approach, creating a brand that fosters emotional connections. Apple users don't just buy a product, they actually become part of a lifestyle and a community, right? So, to build strong relationships, brands must connect emotionally while providing logical benefits that validate those choices. So, an emotional effect of that Apple has is, that that fear of missing out, right, on the new updates or the new features of a phone that has built a community of itself. So understanding that emotional aspect of your customer, and then what is the rational part of being that loyal customer. Now let's get into the power of personalization. Personalization is the four key parts right here that I have on this slide. It's knowing your uniqueness, right? Understanding how customers feel, your relevance, your connection, and your results. So personalization makes customers feel valued. Even when you just see an email that has, Dear Michelle or Dear Naquire, Dear Barbara, it makes you feel seen. When businesses tailor interactions based on customer preferences, it strengthens that emotional connection. Starbucks uses something so simple as just writing our names on the cups, right? Well, writing our names on those cups, what it does is that it creates a more intimate experience. You know your barista, you know everybody behind that counter, and want to be friendly and part of the community by the time you pick up your coffee. Research shows that personalized experiences can increase sales by up to 40%. When building strong relationships with our clients, we want to do it by building trust and credibility. And the way that we can do that is by being consistent, which is delivering reliable experiences every single time, transparency, so being honest about the information we're putting out there and about our practices, authenticity, aligning our actions with our stated values, and accountability. So taking responsibility for any mistakes or any crisis management that might come up. Trust is the foundation of long-term relationships. Brands build trust through consistency, transparency, authenticity, and accountability. Patagonia is an example of this. Openly, they share its sustainability practices, earning customer loyalty by aligning with their values. So when businesses act with integrity, customers respond with lasting commitment. Effective communication channels are essential to building strong relationships with your customers. Successful businesses communicate with customers across multiple platforms, right? Because they understand the customer journey. They understand where their customers are taking in information, and they know this through data. So an example is, examples of communication channels is, social media, email marketing, mobile apps, and in-person events. Nike engages with customers through social media, email, mobile apps, and in-person events. As a matter of fact, if you love Nike and you shop at any Nike store, you probably have the Nike app on your phone because that's usually how they deliver exclusive deals to you, right? So they understand that social media enables real-time interaction, that email delivers personalized content, and that mobile apps provide convenience. So effectively, using these multiple channels strengthens customer connections long term. Brands and businesses that are actively listening and requiring customer feedback build the strongest relationships with their clients, right? Brands that ask questions, whether it's through, surveys, excuse me, reviews, or direct outreach, making it easy to share opinions, drive a stronger relationship with their clients. Those that listen carefully, that pay attention to the positive and negative feedback, and that look for the patterns in customer responses tend to command customer loyalty. And those brands and businesses that take action, that implement changes based on the feedback, clients feel seen, they feel heard, and tend to be loyal to that brand or business. And also companies that acknowledge input, right? That they thank their customers for insights, that show that their opinions matter, tend to make super fans of their customer base. So strong relationships require active listening. Businesses should seek feedback through surveys, reviews, and direct conversations. And Zappos is a company that is known for using customer feedback to enhance its services. So they embrace feedback and they make improvements based on its built trust and loyalty. I'm sure we've spoken about branding, and I hope that you're starting to see how the formula to business, it's all related to each other. So in the world of storytelling, especially in your branding and sharing your purpose, your values, your impact, making sure that your narrative, your stories connect with all the elements of your brand, this creates that emotional connection that we talked about early on in this presentation. Customers resonate with brands that have a purpose beyond profits. And Tom's Shoes is a good example of this. They've masterfully told their story, right? They built a brand around a story where every purchase helps someone in need. And that's something that customers can stand behind. So by weaving purpose, values, and impact into a cohesive narrative, brands strengthen those relationships with their customers and turn them into super fans. Leveraging social proof, right? People trust other people. I get clients all the time. They're like, I don't have time to ask people for reviews. But the truth is, we live in an environment now where we're seeking those reviews in order to and they're influencing our buying power, right? And that's how we're making our buying decisions. Amazon's review system influences 93% of purchasing decisions because shoppers rely on the experiences of other customers. Testimonials and influencer recommendations provide credibility and which makes, potential customers feel more comfortable doing business with you. After COVID, community became a really big deal for companies, right? People want to belong, they want to be a part of things, especially coming out of COVID. Um, 86% of brand loyalty, or I'm sorry, 86% of consumers stay loyal to their brands that foster community. 66% of community members who engage at least monthly with the brand um, tend to become loyal customers. And 12% of you're actually capable of 12xing the community members that follow your brand just by creating community and belonging. People are drawn to brands that foster community. Harley Davidson is a huge, huge example about this. Um, Harley Davidson motorcycle groups have turned customers into lifelong brand ambassadors. Brands that create a sense of belonging, achieving higher engagement, loyalty, and referrals, these businesses should consider how they can build a community around their brand. The idea of surprise and delighting being a strategy is interesting, right? But a surprise and delight strategy strengthens emotional connections with customers by providing unexpected positive experiences. Companies like Chewy excel at this by sending personalized pet gifts to loyal customers, creating that strong emotional bond, right? Recognizing milestones and achievements, such as customer anniversaries, demonstrates appreciation and reinforces brand loyalty. Occasionally exceeding expectations through free upgrades or additional services also contributes to memorable experiences. And something, a lost art that should come back is handwritten messages and personalized notes. These show genuine care, and it helps businesses foster meaningful relationships in an increasingly digital world. Let's talk about loyalty programs that work. There's probably not a business or brand that you go to today that doesn't have a loyalty program, right? You can go to Walgreens, CVS, Sephora, The Gap. Everybody is taking in your email, um, and sending you out some type of an exclusive offer. Loyalty programs are an effective way to keep customers engaged and encourage repeat purchases, because that one purchase is not enough. We need repetitive purchases. There are various types of programs, each designed to meet different business needs. So, for example, point-based systems are easy to understand and offer flexible rewards, making them ideal for retail and restaurants. Tiered programs create aspirational goals, motivating customers to spend more to reach higher reward levels, especially effective in the travel and luxury goods industry. Paid memberships provide exclusive benefits and generate predictable revenue, commonly used in e-commerce and services. And value-based programs align with customers' values, reinforcing brand identity and working well for mission-driven businesses. Sephora's Beauty Insider program is a great example of a successful tiered loyalty program. Members earn points on purchases and gain access to exclusive events, with higher tiers offering increasingly valuable benefits. And I blame this loyalty program for the amount of money that I spend at Sephora every time I go, because I'm trying to get to the reward that will get me the free makeup that's, behind their counter. So you do a good job with that loyalty program. Next, let's talk about proactive customer support, because the relationship doesn't end just when they purchase, right? We want to support them. We want to let them know that we're there for their buying needs. So today, customer support is not just reactive. It's really proactive. Innovative companies like Apple, with its Genius Bar, they've revolutionized problem solving by offering personalized face-to-face assistance. This approach anticipates customers' needs, providing solutions before issues even arise. So, whether through in person support, online assistance, or automated systems, proactive support turns potential frustrations into positive experiences. Again, strengthening customer loyalty and enhancing brand perception. The follow up. I like to say I'm the queen of follow ups because it's so important. Follow up is essential for building strong and lasting relationships. It all begins with the initial contact, where the first interaction sparks interest and sets a clear expectation. Next, meaningful follow-ups play a crucial role in demonstrating reliability and maintaining open communication. Real estate agents, for example, excel in this practice, right? They have to follow up. That's the name of the game. Additionally, regular check-ins help strengthen the customer connection over time, showing a genuine commitment to the relationship. And finally, milestone recognition, such as celebrating anniversaries or important dates. This fosters loyalty and it reinforces the value of attention to detail. These steps ensure that business relationships remain strong and continue to grow with the brand and business. Now, it's not always positive. It's quite difficult to manage customer relationships when you're getting negative feedback. I've experienced this quite a few times in my business ownership career. But handling negative feedback effectively can really transform a brand's perception and strengthen customer relationships. The process begins with listening. Sorry. Listening carefully to the complaint without interrupting. Sorry. I've been talking all day. This allows for a full understanding of the situation. Next, wait 1 second. All right, I think I'm good. Next, it is essential to acknowledge the customer's experience by validating their concern and showing empathy. Once the issue is identified, it should be resolved with a clear and effective action. However, the work doesn't stop there. It's crucial to learn from the situation by improving your internal systems so that you can prevent it from happening again. And finally, following up ensures that the implemented solution was effective and reinforces the customer's trust in the brand. A great example of this was Domino's Pizza, which turns criticism into an opportunity. They acknowledged their quality issues. There were issues about the quality of their food. And so once they acknowledged it, they also communicated that they had made significant improvements. And so they were able to reposition themselves in the market with full transparency. And their customer base really appreciated it. They felt seen, they felt heard, and they felt that they were part of the Domino's community. So this strategy not only enhanced their product, but it definitely enhanced the relationships and it actually brought in new customers to Domino's. So let's talk about scaling personalization as you grow, because I'm sure some of you are thinking, like, how do I do that at scale, right? So as businesses grow, personalization becomes key to maintaining meaningful connections with customers. And to achieve this, it can only be done through various strategies that require technology. So it's key, to integrate data because this allows companies to unify customer information across different platforms, creating a comprehensive profile that enables that personalized experience. JetBlue is an example of this. You can get a JetBlue email and you'll notice that their brand is very cheeky, very friendly. It's going to say, "Hey, Michelle," or "Hey, Barbara." And you're going to feel like it's your best friend telling you about the next new trip that you need to take. They also do a really great job of knowing like what your searches have been in terms of vacations and flights and hotels, right? To give you recommendations. Artificial intelligence. We've been talking about AI very often these days, but truthfully, it helps optimize personalization. We've seen this with Spotify, which generates customized playlists for each user, depending on what they're listening to. Another crucial factor is smart segmentation. Spotify does this, Amazon, most, if not all global companies do this. And it's when they group customers with similar characteristics so that they can deliver targeted and relevant messages, going beyond just basic demographics. And finally, automation tools. That's truly the secret of scaling because they can scale these strategies without losing authenticity, ensuring personalized interactions, and also remaining efficient as a company, right? So, implementing these tactics, businesses can deliver highly personalized experiences at scale, strengthening the customer relationship and increasing the loyalty. Building a loyal customer base and brand advocates is key to sustainable growth as a whole. And this process involves four levels. At the foundation are your new customers, right? Who are still forming their first impressions of the brand. And as they have positive experiences, they become satisfied customers who hold a favorable perception, but may not yet be fully engaged with your brand. When a customer returns and makes repeat purchases, they become a loyal customer, demonstrating consistency in their relationship with the company. And finally, the most valuable customers are our brand advocates. Those are who are not only loyal but also actively recommend the business to others. And a great example of this is Tesla. They have a referral program. So existing customers receive rewards for bringing in new customers and which creates a network effect where enthusiastic owners now promote the brand organically. Although I don't know about that these days with how Tesla is going down, but this definitely was their strategy before the mess that they're in right now. So they have a lot of crisis management they have to do these days. Next is the role of partnerships and collaborations. So strategic partnerships and collaborations play a crucial role in a brand's growth and success. Through enhanced value, strategic alliances, you can offer customers more complete experiences by integrating complementary services. And you can really expand your audience, right? And also optimize your resources. So a great example is the collaboration between Starbucks and Spotify, which allows customers to identify and save songs playing in Starbucks stores directly to their Spotify playlist. And what this does is that it creates this multi-sensory brand experience. Additionally, these partnerships facilitate, as I mentioned before, this audience expansion, right? Introducing the brand to new markets and increasing credibility. And by collaborating with established brands in different industries, then businesses can build trust with audiences that would have been so difficult to reach. And then finally, resource optimization, which is a key benefit of collaborations. By joining forces, companies can maximize limited resources and focus on their core strengths, improving efficiency and profitability. A well-executed collaboration not only expands a brand's presence, but also strengthens customer relationships and creates these memorable experiences. Now, to maintain relevance and customer satisfaction, businesses must continuously adapt to changing expectations, right? We're human. Our behaviors are changing by the minute, by the day, by the hour. So this process is built on four key pillars: continuously listening, essential for understanding emerging needs, monitoring customer preferences through ongoing research helps businesses stay connected to their evolution. An agile response allows companies to quickly adapt products and services. Airbnb did this. They adjusted their entire business model during the pandemic to offer longer term stays because they had to respond to their new consumers' needs at the time. Forward thinking is another crucial element. Instead of merely reacting to trends, businesses should anticipate needs before customers actually express them. So be aware of what's going out in the market around you. This allows you to position yourself as an innovative leader. And finally, fostering a culture of innovation, creating flexible systems to test new approaches and adapt to change effectively. Now, all these strategies I've shared with you are great strategies, but we need to measure. We need to measure what's working. And that's truly, how we get to build these customer relationships and it's the key to a sustainable growth of your business. So various metrics help evaluate customer loyalty and engagement. One is NPS, your Net Promoter Score. It's one of the most widely used metrics as a measure of customer loyalty. And it's all by asking one question. And you've probably seen this question mostly at restaurants, but really any business can use this. And that question is, how likely are you to recommend us? That simple question. That's your NPS score. So a high NPS score indicates satisfied customers who are willing to promote the brand. And obviously, a low score is where you now have to start looking deep into your business and make some changes. Next is the retention rate, which measures a company's ability to keep customers over time. While customer lifetime value, CLV, indicates the total value a customer brings to the business throughout their relationship. Other key metrics include repeat purchase rate, which shows how often customers return. And then next is referral rate, which tracks how many customers refer others. And lastly, engagement, which measures customer interaction and participation with the brand. Tracking these metrics allows businesses to quantify the strength of customer relationships and identify areas for improvement to enhance the experience and drive loyalty. So let's get into some future trends in customer retention. Because the future of customer retention will be shaped by technological innovation and stronger consumer relationships. AI-driven personalization. This is going to enable brands to deliver hyper-personalized experiences. So with AI, chatbots, automated systems, customer support and communication will become more efficient. Additionally, enhanced experiences. I'm here at a plane hangar right now, and I was on a panel speaking. But before I went to speak, there was a company that attracted me, and they had this whole AR experience for me to actually experience what they do as a company. And it was mind-blowing. So it was really interesting that I had this in the presentation already. But truly, technologies like augmented reality, AR, and virtual reality, VR, will transform how customers interact with brands, creating immersive and memorable engagement. They even had a 3D printer printing out little planes on site. It was pretty interesting. Another key factor is values-driven commerce, where purchasing decisions will be increasingly influenced by ethical considerations. So consumers will seek brands that align with their values, driving greater transparency and corporate responsibility. And finally, community-centered models will gain importance. Brands that act as platforms for customer connection will strengthen loyalty and engagement, fostering that long-term relationship that we keep saying we're building on trust, right? And genuine interaction. So embracing these trends will not only retain customers, but also turn them into brand advocates, which is, ensuring the business's relevance in an ever-evolving market. All right, so now final thoughts and a call to action. Um, Building strong customer relationships doesn't happen overnight. It really doesn't. It requires strategy, measurement, and consistency. And we talked about that significantly in this presentation. But just to recap, the first step is to start small, beginning with a single action focused on relationship building. Small improvements accumulated over time create a significant impact. To ensure these actions are effective, it's essential to measure the impact. So tracking the right metrics helps quantify results and validate the investment in customer relationships. It's crucial to build culture where every team member takes responsibility for strengthening customer connections. So training the team to prioritize relationships ensures a consistent and positive experience. And finally, the key to a long-term success is maintaining that consistency. Relationship building requires ongoing effort and sustained commitment. So brands that invest in long-term relationships, they reap the greatest rewards. They end up being the most profitable. So I'm going to leave you with this question. What's your next step to strengthen customer relationships within the businesses that you're working on or are currently active running? And evaluate which strategy best aligns with your business needs. And then the most important piece is to take action. So that concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, this would be the best time to ask. I'm happy to speak on my own experience or elaborate on any of these concepts, or even maybe even hear about, your pitches and what businesses you're working on.